On the march, the empire's on the run. Alex Jones and the GCN Radio Network.
Joe Biggs here with Infowars.com with a Jade Helm 1.5 update. This is a psyop to condition people into seeing military up and down the streets. Special operations soldiers will be dressed in civilian attire, blending in, doing what they call suspicious activity. The people of Bastrop County in Texas, right outside of Austin, are not happy about it. These architects of SOCOM who do this Jade Helm 1.5 exercise will be coming to Bastrop to speak on Monday, April 27th at the Commissioner Court meeting on 804 Pecan Street, second floor. The meeting starts at 9 a.m. It is open to the public. I want to encourage each and every one of you patriots, Americans who actually give a damn about this country, to get off your butt, get off your couch, put the keys in the ignition. This is something that I want to see people show up to in mass numbers. I'm sick and tired of this stuff, and I hope that some of you people out there are sick and tired too, and will show up at 9 a.m. at the County Commissioner's Courtroom in Bastrop.
What lies at the heart of InfoWars and everything we do? At the core is fellow human beings of every race, color, and creed across the United States and the planet that believe in personal liberty. And it's people like you that have promoted the radio broadcast to their friends and family. It's people like you that have bought the high-quality products at InfoWarsStore.com that have made everything we do possible. And that's why I want to salute you. You have helped us build this operation. You don't stand beside us or behind us or even in front of us. You stand at the heart of InfoWars. That's why in the month of April, we're offering some of the biggest specials yet to introduce listeners to these high-quality nutraceuticals at InfoWarsLife.com. 50% off high-quality colloidal silver bullet. Buy 2 X2 nascent iodines. Get 1 fluoride shield absolutely free and free shipping. 50% off silver bullet. Free shipping. Free bottles of fluoride shield detoxer. Find the specials at InfoWarsLife.com. Introducing Secret 12, the new InfoWars Life vitamin B12 formulation. Secret 12 is a binary of nutramedical grade, bioavailable coenzyme forms of B12, methylcobalamin, the same kind used in B12 injections, and adenosylcobalamin. Secret 12 is simply taken by mouth, right on the tongue, and then swallowed. No needles, no injections. Secure your revolutionary Secret 12 formula right now at InfoWarsLife.com or call 888-253-3139. Alex Jones here. For the last 2 years, I've been working with top doctors, nutritionists, and chemists to design a nutraceutical formulation that has truly life-changing health benefits. Introducing the all-new Ancient Defense Herbal Immunity Blend. Experience the benefits of combining over 14 ancient herbs and extracts with exciting new advances in nutraceutical science. Visit InfoWarsLife.com or call 1-888-253-3139. That's InfoWarsLife.com.
Hitler took the guns. Stalin took the guns. Mao took the guns. Fidel Castro took the guns. Hugo Chavez took the guns. And I'm here to tell you, 1776 will commence again if you try to take our firearms. Doesn't matter how many lemmings you get out there on the street begging for them to have their guns taken. We will not relinquish them. Do you understand?
Rallying patriots worldwide in defense of human liberty. It's Alex Jones.
Welcome back to the Alex Jones Show. I'm David Knight, your host today. We have an article that's up on InfoWars this Friday, Alex Jones versus the mainstream media. Embedded in that is a documentary film from No More News, and that's KNOW, No More News, exposing the mainstream media's propaganda campaign to ridicule Jones. I want to play a little bit of this documentary. We're not going to play, of course, the entire documentary because it's quite long, but I want you to get a sample of what this looks like, and you can see the entire video at Infowars.com. Let's roll that now. First they ignore you, then they laugh at you, then they fight with you.
This guy's name. I mean, he does not represent America. This is the same guy that said that the U.S. government is involved in Oklahoma bombings and 9/11. So it's just he really lives in the land of wacky.
Some guy on the radio. We don't really know who he is.
I don't know because I don't pay attention to him. And what's his face?
Whoever that guy was.
A guy that we don't talk about very often because he's so insignificant and we don't really care. But he's
also psycho.
Yeah,
Can we just say what it is?
He's a really spooky guy. And you just have to be careful of it. And as long as you know who he is, it's fine.
They've tried to ignore us in past decades, and now they can't.
The talk show host is Alex Jones. He's a conspiracy theorist. He's kind of like the guru, the king of the conspiracy theorists. He's considered legit among the crazies.
The king of conspiracy, radio show host Alex Jones.
Alex Jones, king of the conspiracy theorists.
I'm not the king of conspiracy. I'm the king of reality.
Conspiracy theorist Alex Jones.
Conspiracy theorist Alex Jones.
Conspiracy theorists and conservative radio hosts like Alex Jones.
They just marginalize him by calling him a conspiracy theorist.
Quasi-journalists such as Alex Jones.
The outrageous Alex Jones.
Most dishonest, journalists of our age.
Jones is arguably the nation's premier purveyor of what could be called paranoia porn.
He's not a conservative. He's not a conservative. I don't know what he is except a conspiracy theorist.
Conspiracy theorist, you relish the word.
Alex Jones is a lunatic, an absolute diehard, insane lunatic. Alex Jones has forwarded some of the most outrageous, ridiculous conspiracy theories about how the world works.
All you've got is shooting your mouth off with that cliched term.
He is pushing outright lies and propaganda on a regular basis, and I think it ultimately subverts the important real journalism that independent journalists are doing on a regular basis by giving the impression that everyone's running around wearing a tinfoil hat.
Now, here comes the lunatic conspiracy theory of the night.
You want to call me a conspiracy theory for saying that? I can read the legislation.
His new conspiracy theory could be his most ridiculous yet.
You could have gone to the document instead of sitting there saying I was a conspiracy theorist.
Look, the guy's mentally disturbed.
Wow. Little Twilight Zone there.
The media will handle him. The disinformation campaign will go out. They're going to try to label this very sane, very reasoned, very learned, very skilled man as a crazy loon, as an off-the-charts madman.
This guy's beautiful mind. He goes into his room and starts drawing things on a chalkboard, right? Like, oh, and then 2 squared is 4, but then 4 squared is like 28. Oh my God! Oh my God! Cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs, man.
I think he is psycho.
Because he's drawing up things, and the square root of 28 is this. Guy's lost his freaking mind.
He can see a lot of things that other people can't see. Like a conspiracy around every corner and in everyone's eyes.
It's in a CIA memo from 1963 that you say, conspiracy theory, tinfoil hat. I mean, that's declassified. The CIA, right after they killed Kennedy, put out these talking points.
If you talk to Alex for any length of time, you discover all kinds of things that you didn't know about the world.
We've blown it wide open.
You have. You have absolutely blown it wide open.
This guy's agenda is that the United States government blew up the World Trade Center. So when you start with that premise, you're in a whole different category.
Yeah, and remember, put yourself back a few years. I know we have short memories, but this is the guy who was convincing 50% of Democrats that George W. Bush was responsible for bringing down the World Trade Center. He was that close with them.
You're trying to create a partisan wedge to keep people in the partisan left-right paradigm. Look, man, I'm way past this junior high control.
I got
stuff.
that. I got.
He thinks that George Walker Bush, the President of the United States, ordered the destruction of 9/11. He's the guy that, with some sort of pumping action, blew up the World Trade Centers and the Pentagon. He did it. That's what this nutcase believes.
He was essentially comparing President Bush to Adolf Hitler.
Yeah.
I was the first to expose 9/11 on the day. In fact, 2 months before, I had intel that elements of the military-industrial complex were going to carry out the attack. I said they'll use bin Laden, the known CIA asset, as their patsy to take the blame for attacking the towers.
If any terrorism comes, it's from this government. And if there was an outside threat like a bin Laden, who was a known CIA asset in the 80s, running the Mujahideen war, and whose family builds all the military bases over in Saudi Arabia right now, he's the boogeyman they need.
in this Orwellian phony system.
And now we have come to a decision that maybe the United States is looking for a boogeyman always.
That conspiracy theory comes from the mother of all conspiracy theory. It's an internet talk show called InfoWars.
These political fringe sites, they have facts, they have figures, they quote people, yet they're treated by much of the media as if they're somehow credible, that a quote from one of those sites is no different than something from the New York Times.
We've got to have the media call anyone that questions us conspiracy theorists, and any media that's not the Washington Post or New York Times is a conspiracy theory.
The website InfoWars, a paranoid online haven run by Alex Jones.
He's on the internet and he's got a lot of followers, he's got a big website.
He usually preaches to his own little paranoid choir.
I think that this internet stuff with this access now that people have has made more crazy people.
Really smart people have come up to me and said, you know, I just saw this on something from InfoWars. Do you know anything about it? And I'm like,
Yes,
yeah, stay away from it. You have to be careful of who you get your news from. Well, I got it from InfoWars. And I'm like, okay, well, no. Then I can tell you right now, it's most likely not true.
You can't trust a word the guy says.
Yeah, the word.
The system is extremely threatened by us telling the truth. They're extremely threatened by the fact that they've been caught lying and engaging in so much oppression and so much corruption for so long that they're really floundering around.
The important thing about what Alex Jones is about, what he represents, is that he has pushed out completely baseless conspiracy theories to literally tens of millions of Americans out there, many of whom actually believe what he says.
What really would concern me about somebody like him is the amount of influence he has, a growing influence. As he boasted, he's got millions of people listening to him. Some of his YouTube rants have got tens of millions of people watching them. And he foments this fear of a tyrannical regime.
Jones is the wildly popular conspiracy theorist whose stories often make their way from his website InfoWars, where on any day you can find headlines about vaccines, mass fluoridation, and the 9/11 cover-up, into the so-called mainstream GOP establishment.
In every tragedy, the InfoWars Alex Jones world thinks they see a conspiracy.
Every time there is a mass shooting or a terrorist attack, Jones is quick to blame them on the government or global forces. From September the 11th to the Boston Marathon bombings, Jones calls acts of violence false flag operations.
And he's been on the air since day one saying that this is a job of the FBI. It's a false flag job. You heard the reporter question as to whether it was false flag job, meaning, you know, is this just, you know, they're twisting it around to make it look like it's something else, another entity, but really is the government. It's so sick, and this guy's an idiot, and, you know, the people at the press conference totally ignored it. I think they didn't throw him out.
We know the Gulf of Tonkin was staged, so we know that governments allow attacks to happen. We know that governments sometimes actually stage attacks. So in a lot of cases, they open the door. That's what 9/11 Truth is saying.
You're making some very serious allegations against the U.S. government, saying that they stage attacks, they allow them to occur in the United States against U.S. citizens.
That's declassified.
What? No, what evidence do you have to support any of that?
Well, Gulf of Tonkin is very, very well documented, but...
I mean, what are you talking about? Hold on. It's in Army field manuals to stage false flag attacks, declassified 2004. And how dare us say government might ever let terrorists attack us or might provocatorum, even though it's in the New York Times and Associated Press and well known. I mean, how dare us? How dare you say I had sex with that woman, Monica Lewinsky? How dare you? How dare you? You're like, what, do you like Saddam? No, I don't like fake wars, blaming a country for 9/11 that wasn't involved.
Yes, this is the same guy who has been selling the idea that the massacre at Sandy Hook Elementary School and the massacre at Aurora, Colorado were actually fake. They were faked as an excuse to take away our guns and enslave us to the giant wasps who hive beneath the UN building or whatever. It's the same guy who says the Boston bombing was also fake. It was faked for political purposes. The same guy who says he doesn't believe the Columbia Space Shuttle disaster actually happened. He doesn't believe there was actually an Oklahoma City bombing. If you like InfoWars, which is a show hosted by a man named Alex Jones, if you like Glenn Beck and you like Alex Jones, who says we faked the moon landing and that 9/11
Okay, so
was
that's
an
a sample
hoax,
of that documentary. You can see the entire documentary again at Infowars.com. Alex Jones versus the mainstream media. You know, when I look at that, I have to ask, why are they protesting too much? Methinks they protest too much. It's really a shoot the messenger ad hominem attack, just repeating over and over again, conspiracy theorists, conspiracy theorists. But when you look at this documentary, you realize just how broad and continuous this attack has been from various people. Like Piers Morgan says, what concerns him is the growing influence of InfoWars. And I guess maybe it concerns Piers Morgan of his shrinking influence, which basically disappeared. And he disappeared and slinked back to the British Isles where he came from. Now, in another vein, last week there was a car show here in the Austin area, the Lone Star